Hey friends, it's Monday, June 9th, 2025. And I promised you guys that there would be a follow-up video regarding the Goldn Paydirt saga. This has been an epic saga. What a saga it has been. Stay tuned. Well, here we go. For my friends that are watching that are in the gold community, you may recall that I ordered some Goldn Paydirt on March 31st, 2025. I did that in anticipation of my birthday. That was April the 12th. The Gold Paydirt was promised by, I think it was between April 8th and April 10th, the guaranteed delivery date. I do see that they printed the label within a day or two, but then the package wasn't moving. I did send an email through the eBay messaging system immediately after I ordered, saying, that I had just ordered the 6 bags of Paydirt. You could order 1 bag, get 1, order 2 bags, get 2, order 3 bags, get 3, and so forth. So I went for the buy 3, get 3. Each bag weighing 3 pounds each. That would give me 9 pounds paid and 9 pounds free. It basically equaled to 18 pounds between the 6 bags for a total of $76.77. There was also a discount with each extra bag that was ordered. So I ordered the 3, and with the taxes, shipping was included. It was $76.77. And I contacted them right away saying, make sure that I do get the 6 individual bags rather than 1 large bag. 1 large bag was not going to fit my purpose. Of course, they didn't write back. I then started to get suspicious when I saw that the package wasn't moving. Sometimes the people don't get their packages scanned, and it may take a couple of post offices before it actually hits a scanner. But when I wasn't seeing anything, I contacted them again saying, hey, this item is not moving. I got to have it before the 12th. I ordered the 6 bags. Where are they? Crickets. I let some more time go by, contacted them a 3rd time. I don't have a copy of those messages anymore, but I did send them through the eBay messaging system. And there's a friend in the gold community that did mention to me that this company is a very large company. They do have a website, and I should go there to contact their customer service. Well, I did not do that because I did not order through their website. I ordered through eBay. There's no way I'm going to make a contact with a buyer or a seller off of the eBay messaging system if it's an eBay transaction, because you need to basically CYA on eBay every step of the way. And I started hearing rumblings at this company that they were criminals. You will get your dirt. They've sold millions of bags. I wasn't told thousands. I was told millions. They have literally sold millions of bags. I don't know if that's true. I've heard everything that it's a single person, to it's a company, to it's a company that's linked to an Indonesian crime syndicate. I have a video about that. I'll link that in the top right-hand corner of this video. I don't know. I've never dealt with this company. I didn't expect to get much gold. There wasn't a promised amount, just that gold would be added to each bag. I also checked the eBay listing to make sure it wasn't one of those where they have a little disclosure in small print at the bottom that says, if you order X amount of bags, we're just going to combine it into one bag. And that particular site that I ordered it from did not say that. And it also said they were from McLean, Virginia. And I've noticed that there were a lot of sellers that were under different usernames that all were connected to McLean, Virginia, that all kind of had quite a few negative feedbacks. And I thought, they're probably doing business under multiple companies. And this, anybody that you're buying Gold Paydirt from in McLean, Virginia, it's probably under this Goldn Paydirt umbrella. I didn't realize how big they were. I didn't realize they had a website. I didn't realize they might be connected to a crime syndicate. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying all these things that I've heard. But I started to get concerned, and I was like, I know I'm not going to get this before my birthday. So I waited and I waited and I waited, and I finally made the decision to start a missing mail search. And that actually worked because the U.S. Postal Service, they found that box right away. They found that package in Woodland Hills, California, which is here in Los Angeles in the San Fernando Valley, which is only probably 8 to 10 miles from where I'm at. Now, that obviously would be the wrong post office. That's not where the distribution center is. That's not the post office that it would go through before it comes to me. There was obviously a mess up. I started thinking, well, gosh, maybe I should have just let it go and not filed that missing mail claim at all, and then just told eBay, like, hey, I didn't get it, and I would have got a refund immediately, within 30 days if it didn't get here. But I went ahead and filed that missing mail claim because I really wanted the box. And after I filed it, I'd say probably 24 hours or less, they did find it, and I did get it. Of course, I had to send it back out of LA, which is crazy. They had to send it back to the distribution center in Santa Clarita and send it back to me. But it's still on the tracking on the eBay system and on the U.S. Postal System tracking. It still said that this package had never left McLean, Virginia, even though it eventually got delivered to me. And it's like, I don't know what's going on with the post office. I don't know if somebody flagged it because there are postal employees who know about this Goldn Paydirt company and people are ripping off the Paydirt in the post office. I don't know. I don't want to accuse anybody, but I did get the box. And of course, if you've seen the video on that, and I'll probably find a clip, put it in this video, or I'll link that video in the top right-hand corner. I got to find these videos because there's so much on this. The box arrived and it had a big hole in the bottom and the box was leaking. I didn't weigh the box, but I did weigh the contents of the box, and it wasn't 18 pounds. It was 17 pounds and change. I don't remember exactly how much, but it was like, hey, I should have had 18 pounds of dirt plus whatever the weight of the box was. I don't remember the weight that was on the label, but there was a large hole. You'll be able to see it in either the clips I put in or the photos that I put in. There was a big hole in the bottom. And of course, as soon as I opened it, and I should have done that on camera live, there was not 6 bags of Paydirt. There was one giant bag that wasn't sealed that had been crammed into another giant plastic bag. Imagine a big giant sandwich bag that's about the size of a small grocery bag. One bag inserted into the other. The inner bag was sideways and open, and the top bag, because the bags were kind of too small for the 18 pounds of, the alleged 18 pounds of dirt, the seal had opened up, and it wasn't sealed. It wasn't heat sealed. And I know that because I'm a reseller and I've owned a heat sealer for years, and those bags were not sealed. It was kind of like a Ziploc sandwich bag, but without the locking mechanism. And nothing was sealed. So, of course, when the post office kicked it around like a football, and, the box, which, by the way, was the wrong box entirely to be used for something like this. It was a very flimsy box. No wonder it had a hole in it. To put that much weight in a flimsy, thin box, there was no way it was going to make it. I'm surprised I even got it. How it ended up in Woodland Hills damaged, I have no idea. But I did get it. I did open the box. Everything was leaking. It was a big, giant mess because I didn't have the 6 bags that I ordered, but I was still going to give this company the benefit of the doubt. I didn't expect much gold, but I couldn't start searching one bag at a time because there was just one big, giant, leaking, dirty bag. And this was dirty dirt. I mean, I know dirt is dirty, but the dust and the crud, I had little pebbles everywhere. This bag was leaking in my kitchen. My cat was trying to get to it. I was trying to hide it, but I didn't have 6 individual bags to hide. So, I had to make room underneath the sink and just hide everything in there so she wouldn't get to it. Then I used a big giant soup ladle and literally scooped in, 1 scoop at a time to pan. And I wasn't getting anywhere. So then I set up the cleanup buddy. I was like, well, there's a few pieces, but not really that many. Then I started panning again, and I'd have to say that the little gold that was in there was actually pretty easy to take out, but I expected that, you know what, I bet since gold is heavy, it's all going to be in the bottom. And since I can't get to the bottom, I'll probably find the most amount of gold once I go through this 17 pounds and change. And I had to classify, I had to remove rocks, I had to clean rocks, I had to pan rocks. This would have been so much easier had I just received the 6 bags that I bought and paid for. And of course, I still had never heard from the seller. So I started my own little assembly line of baggies and slowly started putting the dirt back and thought, you know what? I think I'm going to send this back, but I'm going to wait till like the day before. And I'm going to contact the seller, and then I'm going to contact eBay. Well, as soon as I filed for that refund, I got the nastiest email from this guy. I should have saved it, and he was saying that he never saw the other messages, and if it's damaged, I need to make a damage claim, not him, me, that he's not going to take it back, that he never promised 6 bags, and if I read the description, it says that it's mailed in 1 bag. I read the description. It did not say that anywhere. I don't know if it says it now, but on the one I bought, no. And, he lied, said he didn't get the messages. It's all on me that the post office lost it. I'm not blaming him for the loss, but I am blaming him for sending it late, for not putting it in the 6 bags that I purchased, and then putting it in a flimsy box, and then, saying that it was up to me, the buyer, to, file all the paperwork with the USPS. And, ever since the pandemic, the local post offices and actually the main post office, they're not really handling those claims like they used to. They just basically during the pandemic said, no more claims. We're not, they'll find any reason to deny. And then they'll, need you to go to some post office that, nobody answers the phone there. Nobody comes to the door. It's like, I'm not going to be driving all around LA trying to find the right post office and bring the box and the bags and the leaking. Like, no, we're not going to go through all this. So I called eBay. They looked at the account. They could see all the messages that I sent to him through the eBay messaging, because once again, I'm not going to go through some website and try to go through some back door to get a human being to return an eBay message. If you buy it on eBay, you do the contact through eBay. And when eBay saw all that I had been through, they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to send you a return label. And as long as you get this out within the next couple of days, you'll be fine. And as soon as the seller receives that, we are automatically going to pay the claim. Not only did they send me the return label, but the rep actually stayed with me on the phone to make sure that I got the label in my email so that I could print it out. Now, the only problem with these labels is they're not the same format as the labels when somebody purchases something on eBay. So I can't use my thermal label printer to purchase a return label. I have to print it out on the laser printer, print a packing slip, and then get the scissors and the tape and be very careful not to cover the barcode or the UPC code. There's a little UPC code that's below the barcode. You got to make you got to make sure that that's not covered in any way, and hope that the big giant label doesn't get ripped in transit. And so far, I've never had one lost or damaged or ripped. They've all made it. But I thought, am I going to go out and purchase bags and use my heat sealer, my equipment? No, I'm just going to put it in little sandwich bags. And there must have been at least, 10, 12 bags of dirt in there. And I made sure to fill them to the brim. And I made sure to tape that box so that nothing would come out. But I can't guarantee that when it goes through the mail, that those, multiple sandwich baggies that are overfilled aren't going to bust inside that box. Wouldn't it be funny if they get that box and there's just dirt everywhere? And oh, by the way, I did include the gold. So it's in a little vial, which I paid for. That was my vial. I put a little vial in there. I put the original ripped bags that they sent me so they could see where they tore and that they were open. And I also put the little sandwich bags full of gold. And I actually handed it to the mailman the next day. I didn't bring it to the post office. I'm disabled. It's too heavy. And I didn't weigh anywhere near the 17 pounds that I received because it was minus the rocks, but it was still heavy and awkward. But I put it in a good box, my own box. That's my cost too. I put it in a good box. I can't send it back in the piece of crap that they sent it to me with a big giant hole in the bottom. I should have and said, here's your crappy box back. But I wanted it to get there. So it started tracking, was picked up, went out of the NoHo post office, which covers Studio City and Toluca Lake, then went to Santa Clarita, arrived there on May the 14th. I think I sent it the 13th, May 13th. Now remember, this all started March 31st, but now we got to fast forward a month and a half. May 13th it goes out, or I get the label. May 14th it goes to the mailman. That evening, same evening, it gets to Santa Clarita in the middle of the night, and it dies. The tracking dies. 4 days later, as of May 18th, it starts tracking again, saying that it's moving through the system, but it never said that it departed Santa Clarita. It just went to Santa Clarita and died, and 4 days later, it's mysteriously moving through the system, but never actually said it left Santa Clarita. It arrived there, but it didn't leave there. And it had a 4-day hotel stay there, but it never departed, and now it's moving. And I'm like, oh crap. Of course, I used a more strong word. Something's wrong. And I can't get that refund unless eBay can see on the tracking that package got back to the seller. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I'm like, what is it with this company? And what is it with the post office? I mean, I know that the post office, they started having problems during the first Trump administration, and we won't go into politics here, but that's when everything kind of went to hell in a handbag, excuse my language, with the post office. But how could a package that came from that company to me get lost, and then I send a return package back for me to them, and it's in the system, it's moving, but it's really not? Like, are there minions in the post office that are tracking anything that comes from these well-known Paydirt companies, and people are removing the dirt? Like, are these things being stolen within the mail system? And I'm like, I've already got a guarantee from eBay that I've won my case, and all I have to do is send it back, and as soon as it comes back, they're going to put the money in the account that day. Even if the seller says, oh, she didn't send me the dirt, she just sent me a box of crickets, they're going to pay me. Kudos eBay. Kudos. I wish they would help the sellers as much as they're helping the buyers, because I'm usually on the selling end, not the buying end. So here we are. Now it's May 18th, not moving. Wait until May 25th. Decide I better file another missing mail claim. Then call eBay. I explain everything that's happened, and they said, thank you for the call, because, you only have so many days or weeks to get this back to us, and if we don't see that it's been returned, we would have just closed out this case. But they talked to a supervisor who escalated it, put an extension on it. We're going to give you an extension to get this back to us. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do at this point. I've already filed a missing mail claim. Nothing from the post office. No emails. Nothing on the missing mail claim. No updates. And they're supposed to update you at some point. Now, they can keep it open as long as they want. They used to have a 10 to 15 day period, but now it's indefinite. Sometimes it goes as far as 90 days. I did eventually reach a human being, and they said, oh no, it should never take that long. I also did eventually get a call separate from the missing mail claim when I was trying to file the indemnity claim from Virginia, saying we don't have it here and screw you and we're closing the case. And I was like, oh my God, closing the case. And they don't give you a phone number where you can call back. Then I had to call the 1-866 number again and say, I don't know who this person was in Virginia. Do you have a record of it? They're closing the case. They said, no, that's not true. The case is still open. It's in Atlanta. That's where the missing mail warehouse is. We'll have to search for it in Atlanta. And I'm like, Atlanta? Like, just what do I do? Because eBay needs an answer on this. So to make a long story short, since the missing mail claim isn't moving. I called or try to attempt to call eBay again, but they're like, oh, you can no longer call on this case, but you can send an email. So I sent an email, hey, I'm making another follow-up message on this, and, the package still hasn't arrived back in Virginia. I don't know what to do at this point. I've already filed a missing mail claim. And they were like, don't worry, we're going to take care of you, la, 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 back to the post office again. They're like, okay, now it's time to file the indemnity claim. You got to step it up. I don't even know the order of all these calls and emails anymore, but basically eBay, or the post office said, now you, even though we're still handling the missing mail claim, that's a separate department. You need to file an indemnity claim for lost mail. I went ahead and I did that. I had to do it 3 different times because for some reason the system wasn't taking it. I had to call the post office again, and I kept saying, I'm getting the spinning blue wheel. It's glitching out. I don't have a receipt that they ever received it, and they couldn't find it. And then they tried to go on their site, but their site was glitching. And it was just like, I can't even believe this at this point. And, while they had me on hold, I did it again. It finally went through. I now have a claim number. They're like, okay, now it's in the system. Now you will only get contact from that department by mail. You will not get contact on the missing mail claim. That's a separate department. You'll get email updates, or you'll go to your informed delivery and you'll see the updates there. But on the missing or the lost mail claim, you'll only get periodic letters. And once we see that it wasn't delivered, you'll get a check for the $76.77. I had all the receipts. I, emailed all the documents 3 times. Like, this has just gone on and on and on and on. And at my last email from eBay, they were like, congratulations, we have decided that we're just going to go ahead and process your refund, and, you'll be hearing from us soon. And last night, in the middle of the night, I finally got the email that says that the money has been put onto my account. Now, it'll take 3 to 5 business banking days to show up, but they are going to give me the $76.77. I don't know if the crappy seller is going to be responsible for any of that, but they know that I've made every effort to return this just terrible transaction, this terrible package. And I'm not complaining about the lack of gold. By the way, the gold was around 0.20 grams. So that's about 1/5 of a gram. And that's not a lot of gold for what was supposed to be 18 pounds of dirt. But I only got 17 pounds, not including the weight of the box. Some of it obviously had leaked. It was missing. I swept up anything that leaked on my counter. Didn't find anything there. Didn't find anything on the floor. If you ordered this from Goldn Paydirt and you ordered the amount that I ordered, you're going to get total of about 0.20 of a gram. And that's a very bad return on investment. But I just wanted to pay for the thrill of the hunt of, being disabled and not being able to move around much. Just have those 6 bags and give me something to do for the next 5 or 6 weeks. And it just didn't work out. I never did get my birthday Paydirt. So if anybody ever wants to just, send extra Paydirt my way so I can just have fun, have at it. The address is in the video description. But I know it's been a long story. If you're still here, thank you very much. But I am getting the money back from eBay. I actually got the confirmation email in the middle of the night that they are fully refunding my purchase. In the meantime, the missing mail claim is still open. I really hope they find it and it ends up in Virginia. And this guy just opens the box and he has a big mess. Because I'm going to be, vindictive on this. Like, screw you. This is how you sent it to me. This is how I'm sending it back to you. I hope that when they open, there's just mess everywhere. And then they'll say, well, this wasn't 18 pounds. Where are my rocks? Like, no. You're getting it back. That's it. But apparently, they're not getting it back because the post office has lost it. Now, how does the post office lose something on the way to me and that exact same package, but in a different box with a different label, but the same contents minus the rocks, also goes missing? And the missing mail claim, unlike the first one, doesn't even move. Now, here's the next question, and I'd love to hear your opinions on this if you're still watching. What happens if in, several weeks to a month, I go to my mailbox and there's a check from USPS saying, hey, we've processed your lost mail claim and here's your $76.77. What do I do? I think I probably put that in the bank. Let's just say it'll pay for all of my time. I don't know. What will I do if, eBay, they've already processed the refund. So whether this guy gets it back or not, I don't have to worry about dealing with him anymore. Or is it them? Him, them, they? The criminals in Indonesia? Who knows? And then there's the McLean, Virginia address. Then there's the Marysville postal or post office where it was supposed to be sent, but then it goes back to Falls Church. Like I said, I think they're doing business under multiple names. Apparently they have this big website. I see their ads all over everywhere now. Their ads are everywhere. They are making a lot of money. You'll hardly get any gold. That's not the issue here. The issue is that they won't send it on time. You won't get what you paid for. You won't get this, buy one, get one, buy two, get two, buy three, get three. You'll get 2 giant bags, basically an empty bag that has another bag inside of it that's not sealed, that'll leak, in a flimsy ass box. I'm going to say it. It was a flimsy ass box. And then when you go to file for the return, because of the damage and the missing contents, they'll be like, oh, it's not our fault, and we didn't get your messages, and it's up to you to file for the damage claim. No. This is on you, buddy. This is on you, Goldn Paydirt. If anybody has stuck through this, I think 27 minutes, and that doesn't even include the clips that I'm going to put in showing you the box. Listen to me. You gold miners, you couch miners, you mailbox miners, you kitchen miners, don't deal with this company. That's the whole moral of this story. Don't deal with it. If anybody wants to put in the comments who are some of the better companies to deal with. I mean, I've had the company that I dealt with. Sorry, I had an itch on my nose. I had ordered something from Amazon. They came with nothing. That was a nightmare to fix. I had the Goldn Paydirt disaster that's been going on since March 31st, and today is June 9th, and I've already checked the bank account. It's not in there yet. It is processing, but I don't see the money yet, although eBay has sent it, and I have the proof right in front of me that I've got the 76.77 coming. So, we're talking almost 2.5 months for me to get that 76.77 back, and I still don't have my 6 bags of Paydirt. Oh my gosh. Please, you guys in the gold community, please hit me up in the comments. Who is a trustworthy company? And not Rich Paydirt from Amazon, because I've already got videos on that. And I know that Bear Prospecting, they're very honest. They did. I'll have to make a follow-up on that. I got that empty bucket from them. Well, it wasn't empty, but it had no gold in it. That somebody had forgot to put the gold in. They did get back to me, and they did send me a bag of gold that I just got a couple days ago. I've yet to go through it. Thank you, Bear Prospecting. I knew they would come through. Everybody said they're, some of the most honest people in the business. So that is, that was straightened out. I know it wasn't going to be much, but when they forgot to put it in, whoever sent it, there's a big, not an argument, but nobody really knows now the whole story, because they told me they didn't fill the buckets, and somebody else said, well, I think they did. And, see all the videos on that too. But, between the bucket fiasco It's okay. I'm over it now. Thank you, Bear. I'd be happy to do business with you anytime in the future. And you too, to his lovely wife, Annie. But I wouldn't do business with Rich Paydirt, and I wouldn't do business with Goldn Paydirt. If this video just helps one person, gosh, I'm going to have to go hydrate now. I'm getting a sore throat from talking so much on this. Thank you for everybody in the community that tried to help me out with this. Just stay away from this company, no matter who they are, whether it's some guy in his mother's basement in Virginia, or if it's some big corporation in a big warehouse, or if it's, the gangsters over in Indonesia sitting on a beach somewhere. Who the heck knows? It's over. My money's coming back. And now I just need some birthday pay dirt, even though my birthday was almost 2 months ago. Send me your suggestions. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, everybody. And thank you so much for watching my videos. Love you. Bye.
It's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed.